the epicentre of the Cape Winelands, the second oldest town in the country and home to a world-famous university. Stellenbosch is far more than just a mountain biking mecca. Boasting oak tree-lined streets and fine examples of Cape Dutch architecture, the town is set up for students and tourists. Public sculpture installations dot the popular pavements around the town centre, which is geared towards walking, cycling and cafe culture. In the very centre of Stellenbosch, the Muratie, the Dutch Reformed Church in South Africa's headquarters, provides a scenic landmark. The church was renovated to its current facade in 1863 and is the finest example of Karl Otto Hager's Gothic-inspired church designs. Grey skies, drizzle and wet ground heralded the penultimate day of the 2024 Absa Cape Epic. There would be soft sunshine later, but after a hot, dry and dusty first 6 stages, the change in weather was welcomed. The day before had been the mildest of the race thus far too, yet the mercury had still climbed into the high 20s, which was only cool by comparison to the high 30s it had reached on stages 3 and 4. The racing was still red hot on stage 5, however, especially as Matt Beers had the bit between his teeth. The Toyota Specialized 91 man blitzed the rolling terrain to the halfway mark before Nino Schurter and Andreas Seewald attempted attacks for World Bicycle Relief and Canyon City. Schurter's efforts burnt the legs of his teammate Sebastian Finney, which played perfectly into the hands of Beers and Howard Grotz. Toyota Specialized 91 went into the finale with Canyon City's Seewald and Mark Stutzman, but Beers pulled his diminutive teammate away from the chasers and to a stage victory in the yellow jerseys. Behind Seewald and Stutzman, the World Bicycle Relief team conceded 57 seconds to the stage winners and overall leaders.
It's awesome being in yellow and everything, but we've really wanted a stage win. You know, we've come second, third, fourth, and so it's nice to get a stage win, and in yellow it's even better.
After stage 5, Toyota Specialized 91 led World Bicycle Relief by 2 minutes and 57 seconds, with Buff Megamo nearly 6 minutes further back in third. Canyon City were the most upwardly mobile squad in the race, moving up to 4th, only 3 minutes off 3rd. In the Aramex women's race, the early phases were largely uneventful, as the undulating terrain allowed a larger group of teams to remain in contention with the favourites. When it started to split, Vera Lossa and Alexa Skada were on the back foot and started to lose ground to the E-Ford Private Client Holdings team for the second day running. Up the trail, Toyota Specialized 91 were shadowing the Ghost Factory Racing and Cannondale Factory Racing teams until Samara Shepherd was unable to follow the pace set by Nicole Kohler and Terpstra Candestil and Mona Mitterwalder. Shepherd and Sophia Gomez-Viafan thus had to ride for third, while the factory racing teams contested the stage. Ghost Factory Racing managed to establish the beginning of an advantage on the final single-track descent, and then Terpstra jumped aboard the Kohler Express for the dual-track run into the finish.
On stage 5, 6 out of 6.
Cannondale Factory Racing fought to limit their losses, but were unable to prevent the women in orange from adding a further 20 seconds to their overall lead.
Yeah, we knew the last trail, and we could ride into it with 1 and 2, like just behind each other, and we got a little gap, and yeah, in the end we just tried to share the work until the finish, and we came away with a few seconds, and yeah, and our win, it's pretty cool.
Heading into the penultimate day, Ghost Factory Racing held a 2 minute and 51 second advantage over Lille and Mittenwalder. Toyota Specialized 91 were at 11:39, while 7 minutes separated 4th and 5th. Stage 6 would be another challenging day, paced with ascents and single tracks. The 87-kilometre route featured 2,300 metres of climbing. Rather than 1 or 2 big passes, the accumulation of elevation gain came from constant ups, followed by as many downs. Those descents were frequently on single tracks, which twisted and turned through plantations on the slopes of the Simmelsberg. The day ahead would present opportunities to attack and to race for a stage win before the race draws to a close. But even the top riders were feeling the effects of their exertions too.
Yeah, we have about 3 minutes gap. For sure, it's a bit not where we want it to be at the moment, but yeah, let's see what's possible. Specialized had a good day yesterday, so let's see what's possible. I don't know where we can break them, but we try our best.
Yeah, so today it's raining. It's a pre-last stage. Quite a hard one. A lot of short and punchy climbs, a lot of trails. So I think maybe the track even gets better with that rain which is coming down now. It was super dusty the last days. Today maybe it's a bit more grippy then. So yeah, we will see. And yeah, we try to put another effort in. Let's see how Lucas' belly is behaving today and how the legs are. So yeah.
Well, it's Saturday, I guess. I'm not quite sure, but it's day 7, stage 6 today in the Cape Epic. We're gonna make a loop around Stellenbosch, some up and down going on, and yeah, the feeling actually you get in the rhythm. So today I even woke up before the alarm, which is strange. And also yesterday at 7 o'clock I always was ready for bed, so it's really weird to get in this early go to bed and early wake up. But it's good. I think today we're still alive and feeling good.
Chasing that third stage victory, Buff Megamo led off the start line like men possessed. Their aggressive starts have been a feature of the 2024 Absa Cape Epic, as has the battle behind them for the first corner. Though apart from on stage 1, the UCI men made it out of the start chute without an incident every day. For the UCI women, the penultimate stage was arguably the best opportunity Cannondale Factory Racing had left to search for a chink in Ghost Factory Racing's formidable armour.
It's another chance to get into the orange leader chassis. I mean, every day has been significant so far because everyone was just pushing the absolute limits every day. For sure, we have some more ideas again today. We had a good debrief yesterday. Ghost is riding very smart, but we hope to be smarter today.
Yeah, it will be another hard day. We will be out for longer than yesterday for sure. But I think it will also be a nice day. It's a great mix of just transfers, but also a lot of single trails. So I think it will be nice.
Rolling off the Kutsenberg sports fields and into stage 6, the Aramex women's competition campaigners were laser focused on the task at hand. For Cannondale Factory Racing, there was time to make up. For Ghost Factory Racing, there was the orange jerseys to defend. For Toyota Specialized 91, a stage win to chase. And further back, individual goals of besting rivals and moving up on the general classification. The UCI men flew up and over Heartbreak Hill and raced down to the Eerste River crossing. The low water bridge is one of the iconic landmarks of Stellenbosch mountain biking. Then it was onwards and uphill. Climbing through the plantations and into the wine farms of the Simonsberg. The steep slopes are perfect for vineyards, but make for tough riding terrain. Buff Megamo were the day's early aggressors. They were joined at the front by World Bicycle Relief, Toyota Specialized 91, Canyon City, Singer Racing, and a selection of teams enjoying their best day of the race. These included KMC, William Topado, Scott Calabandida Majauji, and Klimatitsa Totimi Kaberti. This large group charged through Water Point 1 together, headed for the Muratie trails. With Finney visibly digging deep on the front, the single track spread the group to a long single file line through the Fynbos and Wattle forests. Daniel Gesmeyer was stranded at the back of the group, forced to yo-yo as the braking and accelerations of the individuals ahead of him concertinaed down the line. These efforts take their toll on the riders and are the primary reason why teams fight for the right to lead into a single track. Part of that battle is based on a team's general classification position and the respect that it affords them, while the rest is a pure meritocracy. When the trails opened to dual tracks, Canyon City and then Beers drove up the pace, which kept the group stretched out and put pressure on those in the pack who were feeling the accumulated effects of the previous 6 days. Becking, Aleman, Roberto Bumartin and Miguel Munoz Moreno were feeling that strain but still chased back. They regained contact with the Beers-led elite selection. but the South African champion was happy to ease off the gas and flow through the Toyota Tough segment. Despite the slightly cautious approach to the tricky, if not technical descent, there was a moment of brief concern in the single track. A Canyon City rider who had overshot a corner earlier rejoined the course between the Toyota Specialized 91 team members and nearly brought Grotz down. Fortunately, the American remained upright and a sliding door moment passed without incident. The first steep kick of the day in Rustenburg Wines strung out the Aramex women's teams. Gomez Viefan had ensured that the pace was too fast for the squads lower than 7th on the general classification to follow earlier in the estate, and the Argentine further splintered the group on a steep kicker. Only Ghost Factory Racing, Cannondale Factory Racing and E-Ford Private Client Holdings could follow the Toyota Specialized 91 riders' acceleration. Rather than slowing when the gradients eased up, Gomez Viefan and Shepard pushed on and were not followed by the race leaders or by Lille and Mitterwaldner. But the quartet behind were not letting a dangerous break go from too far out and gradually upped their speed too, reeling the attackers in through Coin Rock Wine Estate. When the catch was made, it was Cannondale Factory Racing's turn to maintain the pressure, which soon had Shepard in trouble. The New Zealander dug deep and with the help of Gomez Viefan maintained contact with the lead group through the single tracks which followed. With the outbound route winding right past the inbound course in Muratie, the trailside fans were gathered in force to cheer their favourites on. But with little support so far from home, Shepard had to rely on her own motivation to go beyond her threshold. Inevitably, the elastic snapped. This left Cannondale Factory Racing to contest for stage and overall honours alone against the race leaders Ghost Factory Racing. Lille and Mitterwaldner versus Terpstra and Kohler has been the story of the Aramex women's race. Though the women in orange have come out tops in every key moment of the battle thus far. Again, they matched their rivals' efforts, and Kohler ensured that she led when they re-entered the single tracks, thus allowing her to put pressure on Mitterwaldner by flowing through the trails with remarkable skill. In the Toyota Tough segment, the world champion was slightly off the wheel of Terpstra. Further back, Shepard had a similar problem with their own teammate being forced to accelerate after each corner. Passing through the second water point on Muratie, Ghost Factory Racing and Cannondale Factory Racing led Toyota Specialized 91 by 52 seconds.
We were wearing white leader jersey and
amateur category, so yeah. It's like a yellow jersey, but in an amateur category. Yeah, actually for us was challenge. Most challenging stage was the first one. So now we are like kind of used to it and in a good rhythm. So we like long stages, hard stages. It's like really suits us. So we are probably will enjoy this trails which is coming up today.
For me, it's quite tough. Oskar is a very strong partner, and he's going front all stages, and I go really hard first stage, and then I think it was Queen stage also very hard, but overall it's quite okay for me. Of course, it's very different, and in Latvia we don't have so many trails. We have gravels, we have roads. Of course, we have some trails also, but not so many as there, and there is perfect. There is really, really good.
Back with the UCI men, the race was heating up. Climbing out of Muratie back towards Stellenbosch, Buff Megamo, Toyota Specialized 91 and Canyon City was setting a ferocious tempo. Finney was the most notable rider to struggle, and with 30 kilometres left to race in the stage, sure to drop back to help him home. This time managing their losses was not possible. Up front, Alleman and Becking tried to convert their aggression into a gap, but after earning a few seconds lead, they were reeled in by Seerwold and Tim Sminger of Canyon City and KMC. Their partners, Stutzman and Teusreiter, followed with Beers and Grotz, while the Willia Vittoria and Willia Topado teams missed the split, while still remaining close enough to retain the possibility of bridging across later. Schurter and Finney continued to ship time, with Scott Calabandida Majazi and Climatiza Totimi Cavati unable or unwilling to help behind them. Climbing out of Morgenhof Wine Estate, Reuter and Stutzman found the steep gradients exceptionally challenging. With a dual track twisting ahead, the leaders were hidden at times, and Sminger seemed unaware of his KMC teammates' troubles. Seerwold was a more conscientious teammate and dropped back to pace Stutzman over the summit of the climb. Though before they could reach the top, the Canyon City team were caught by Fabian Ravensteiner and Samuele Poro of Willia Vittoria. Then both teams fought their way across to the leaders, KMC, Toyota Specialized 91 and Buff Megamo. On the single tracks which followed, Becking punctured and was forced to the side of the trail as the train of teams powered by. The Dutch marathon champion took a few vital moments to get back underway. He was not the last person to endure a puncture. Canyon City were the next to be forced into stopping on the trails. As Becking and Alleman passed Seerwold and Stutzman, they finished their running repair and rejoined the fray. In the meantime, Sminger had waited for Reuter, leaving Willia Vittoria and Toyota Specialized 91 to battle it out for stage honours. On the next climb, Canyon City were distanced by Buff Megamo. Of the quartet at the front, Poro was showing the greatest signs of strain. This allowed Beers and Grotz to race away on the last kick to the line. The Stage 6 win was Toyota Specialized 91's second in as many days. Ravensteiner and Poro crossed the line in second, completing a great day for the Willia Vittoria duo. Becking and Alleman of Buff Megamo completed the stage podium.
I think it was a pretty hard stage. Like, it was pretty slow going. Like, it was slippery, super slippery. There were quite a few crashes out there. Yeah, at this stage of the week, like, you're just going through the motions and you just want it to end, kind of thing. You're not necessarily enjoying it, but it was the last single track was really cool coming down, and I'm glad we could just get some more time. Like, tomorrow is a proper day. I think it's one of the gnarliest last stages of Epic we've had in a while. So to just get a little bit more time for anything that can happen, it makes it a little bit more reassuring.
Yeah, you know, Stellenbosch is Stellenbosch. I like Val de Vie, the grand finale, everything, but I mean, my opinion, Stellenbosch means mountain bike in South Africa. So it was crazy. All day long, a lot of people on the track, a lot of crowd. It's epic for sure.
Yeah, the last 2 days we didn't have our best days, and we wanted to make something up today. And we just went full gas from the start, and it was a super tough day. But we felt really good, but had some like mistakes and some bad luck on the road. But finally we crossed the finish line in third, make up some time on Canyon and also on Nino and Fini. So that's super important for tomorrow, and I think tomorrow will be a big day.
For the second day in a row, Beers and Grotz stood atop the stage podium. This time they had Ravensteiner and Poro, as well as Becking and Alleman for company. In the final 2 kilometres of the stage, the Toyota Specialized 91 team had been able to put 41 seconds into Willia Vittoria. Though what actually mattered to the winners was the 6 minutes and 25 seconds they beat World Bicycle Relief by. For the third time and vitally heading into the grand finale, Beers and Grotz donned a fresh set of yellow Chivita jerseys for the general classification podium. World Bicycle Relief Stage 6 time losses means that Toyota Specialized 91 take a 9 minute and 22 second lead into the final stage. Buff Megamo, who had started the day with their podium place under pressure, ended it with a chance of racing for second on Stage 7. In 9th overall, Paga Eurosteel maintained their grip on the Absa African jerseys. In the Aramex women's race, Cannondale Factory Racing were attempting to ratchet up the pressure on the race leaders on the climbs back towards Stellenbosch. But try as they might, they could not distance Ghost Factory Racing. Behind them on the trails, Toyota Specialized 91 were engaged in a time trial home for third, unable to match the speeds of the teams ahead. There, the battle was as intense as ever, with Kohler marking Lil's every move and Terpstra sticking to her teammate's wheel. Mitterwaldner was seldom able to leapfrog past the Ghost Factory Racing combination long enough to exert real pressure. In the moments when Cannondale Factory Racing led side by side, or when Terpstra found herself at the back of the group, the leaders still looked comfortable. As on every one of the previous 6 days, they bided their time until a key moment. On a steep single-track climb in the final 10 kilometres, Kohler and Terpstra made their way to the front and upped the tempo. Over the summit of Botmaskop, the gap had grown from a handful of metres to long seconds. Lil waited for Mitterwaldner at the top, then began the pursuit. But Ghost Factory Racing's superior descending skills allowed them to fly through the last single track, the Doctor, and extend their hard-earned lead. On the road through Stellenbosch and along the Bergpad, Kohler ensured that the gap kept growing. Lil's chase was curtailed by Mitterwaldner's cautious descending. Later, Gomez Viefan, Shepard, Liana Giraud and Haley Perrine floated through the caveman jump line. Up ahead, there was no stopping Ghost Factory Racing. With one stage to go, Kohler and Terpstra were one victory from a perfect clean sweep of stage wins. Lil and Mitterwaldner had to be content with second place once again, but the Cannondale Factory Racing pair could not be wondering what if. Neither could Gomez Viefan or Shepard.
It's really hard to switch like having the joy of winning and having another day of racing, and yeah, it's just unbelievable that we are still in this winning stroke, and yeah, I think we will just enjoy it, and when we cannot enjoy it now, we will for sure after tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think today we just wanted to try and change things up a little bit, change the status quo, let's say, and take a bit more control of the race, and I think we did actually a really good job at doing that. Everyone's on the ropes. I mean, it's really like everyone's giving their full effort, and I think, yeah, mentally it just actually helps a bit to race from the front. But yeah, then it came down to a massive sprint to get into that tunnel that goes under the Hulshöchter Road. And I was just giving everything, and the two Ghost girls got in front of us and they made a gap on the descent to the line.
Yeah, there wasn't really a plan. The idea was like to let Samara let me know when she was doing good, feeling good, and then there was a moment that one of the girls unclipped on like one of that 20%, and then we just saw an opportunity, and yeah, we went full gas, and yeah, we tried and we got caught and we kind of blew up a little bit, but you know, you gotta die trying.
It was seventh heaven for Ghost Factory Racing as they stood atop the podium after another stellar stage victory. Cannondale Factory Racing earned their sixth second position, while Toyota Specialized 91 were third for the sixth time too. Kohler and Terpstra's margin of victory was 60 seconds exactly. Lil and Mitterwaldner were 9 minutes quicker than Gomez Viefan and Shepard, while Sarah Hill and Haley Smith were 13 minutes and 35 seconds faster than their Absa African Jersey rivals Steph Walters and Danielle Stradum. Ghost Factory Racing were rewarded with fresh Aramex Orange Chivita jerseys heading into the final stage. The buffer Kohler and Terpstra would take into the grand finale is 3 minutes and 51 seconds to Lil and Mitterwaldner. The battle for the Absa African jersey is even closer, with Hill and Smith holding a slender 1 minute and 39 seconds over Walters and Stradum. The grand finale, stage 7, will be no ceremonial roll through Stellenbosch. The 67-kilometre route includes 2,000 metres of climbing and some of Jonkershoek's finest trails. The first half includes Armageddon, Red Phoenix, Borsluis and Fire Hut. In the second half, the course visits Montmarie and its freshly rebuilt trails before heading for home via Eden and G-Spot.